Crystal at KUWS here.
Hey, Crystal, how's it going?
Crystal.
Hey. Sorry, guys, we don't have a video on our end, but I can hear you
Oh,
guys
okay.
loud and clear.
All right. Here, I'll
Awesome.
turn it off then.
All right.
Just for solidarity.
Who am I talking to this afternoon? I know that you guys are an artist collective, and you've got a
Yep.
lot of different people.
Yeah, so, our name is Clickbait. Right now you're talking to Nate Fikru
And to Mesgan, I'm the one from the hotel,
Okay.
bartender.
All right. Wonderful.
Yep, you guys seem to have acquainted earlier. So we actually have 4 other people in our group. Albert Green, who is a DJ and also a promoter, also an audio engineer.
Oh, wow.
We have, it's a pretty multifaceted team.
Mhm.
So we also have Frall Io,
Oh.
spelling Fraol
Yep.
Phrol. Also, we'll try to format our answers to sound more bite friendly.
No, don't worry about it. My interviews are conversation. Tangents are welcome. All right. Sounds good. So I have
So-
Nate, and then who else?
Yep,
I'm
so
sorry.
This is
Team
Clickbait.
as
We have Timez, we have Nate, Frall Io, who is also a DJ and producer. He's released a few mixtapes on Bandcamp that you can find. Albert Green, like I said, promoter, audio engineer, and also a DJ. And then Michu and Lalisa Dabala, who are Michu is actually a vocalist, and
Okay.
he also creates beats, and Lalisa is a photographer.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Jeez, Louise, you guys have a multifaceted thing going on down there.
Yeah,
All right.
it actually started. We're all actually friends from. How long have I known you guys? Probably like 10 years.
a very long time.
Really long
I've
time.
known Mitchu and Lisa since I was 12 years old, and I met you through them and
Yep.
in high school.
Exactly. I've known Mitchell and Lisa through church, and also same thing with Frall. Me and Frall have been friends since we were about like 5 years old, and we're all Ethiopian, and we all grew up within the Ethiopian church community.
Okay.
And
Down in
along-
Minneapolis there or elsewhere?
Sorry.
Down in Minneapolis or elsewhere?
Yep, in Minneapolis and St. Paul actually. So just the entirety of the Twin Cities, and our parents have known each other and that sort of thing. So we've all grown up with each other. We actually met Albert on the way, like towards our college ages, but eventually we ended up all living with each other. So right now we all live with each other in a house in South Minneapolis right now. And it's really cool to be able to live with these guys too, because everybody, along the way has kind of found what their creative focus has been and how they have able to been to express themselves creatively. And in the house, we all can kind of collaborate like at all times and work together and communicate ideas as quick as possible.
So is there a constant turnaround of music and things like that? Now, before the interview, I was on your website, and you've got a bunch of stuff up on YouTube, just in case people are interested in listening to it right now and going up and finding out who you guys are down in Minneapolis, just to reiterate where we're talking from here. And now the stuff that I was listening to is really ambient. Sounds like you got some keyboards in there, maybe a drum machine. But then you guys also have some rap on top of it as well in some of your music. So is there a constant turnaround of creativity and that flow? And, do people just kind of come and go in the house? How does that work? How does that come together?
Yeah, we're always working on music. Everyone's got different projects they're working on, different sounds. Sometimes it's very organic, like someone will just be working on a beat and I'll just walk in and like, oh, hey, let me hop on that song. That's how our single On My Line came about. Frall was just working on the beat, and I was just in the basement chilling, and I just hopped on the mic real quick and just started rapping. Some of it is we kind of plan it out like we have a group project that we're working on called the Clickbait, and we're trying to really put it together and make sure it sounds really good. So it happens in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different projects we got going on, but we all kind of just work together. And if we hear different things, or if I'll be making a beat and I want a really, really awesome guitar riff on it, I'll ask Michu to hop on, and we all just help each other and work with each other.
Yep, and I would also add to that it almost seems like everybody individually has their own, focuses and their own projects that they're working on, and we all spearhead our own things and get the help that we need when the time comes, or like Tima says, it'll happen organically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. That sounds really cool. How did you guys get started in this musical endeavor? I know that there's a lot of different people. You all live in a house down in Minneapolis. It's called Clickbait. We'll get into the name here in a hot second, but how did you guys get started on this musical endeavor? Was it a calling that you guys had? Was it something that you kind of did through church? How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of started with music pretty early on, but it wasn't like the focus of our lives. It was kind of just something we did as a hobby, like during middle school and high school. It was something we did for fun. And then in college, at least on my end, I started recording some of my raps. And as we did it more, it was just really fun. And, we would just work together on stuff just for the fun of it. And I started releasing projects. And I think back in 2016 is when we started throwing parties. And at this time, we didn't have the name Clickbait. We were just a group of friends making music. Mm-hmm. We started throwing parties in the city, and that's when we started meeting more people in the scene here. And we started making connections at these parties. And we started then, in 2017, we started doing shows. I started performing, and, we just started growing. And I think that's when we came with the name actually in November of 2016, because we had to come up with a name because we've been working together for so long. And, we were just shooting different names around, and Clickbait just sounded really good, and we decided to run with it. And from there, that's when things really started to grow, because we had the name. People could put a name to our group, because they, a lot of people knew who we were, but they just couldn't put a name on us. So it's kind of just been it kind of came organically, like it just came from our passion for music and just working together. And then since we worked together so much, we had to come up with a name for it. So
yeah, that's pretty much how it's cool, because it kind of has like that internet aspect to it at the same time, because we're all, for all intents and purposes, internet kids. Mm-hmm. All grew up on the internet, whether it was, watching movies or getting all of our information constantly every single day. So we love the idea that it has that internet aspect to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, when you handed me that card, we had met in a hotel lobby, actually. Well, hotel bar? Yeah, hotel bar down in Minneapolis. And when you handed me that card and I read it, it has a really nice, dare I say, click to it. When you told me it was an artist collective, and not to do a comparison here, but my mind automatically went to Doomtree, which is something people are more familiar with across the board. It's got Dessa. I'm a big fan of Dessa, so that's the one that comes to mind. But it's a rap collective that is based out of Minneapolis, and they go traveling and ba-da-da-da-da. So that's kind of what came to my mind. Do you guys kind of follow in that realm, that it's an artist collective? Doomtree came about that they were striking out on their own because they couldn't really find people to gel with as much. They couldn't really find producers and things like that. You were talking earlier, and you have an in-house producer that actually lives with you, literally. So is that kind of what you guys are aiming for, or is it just an artist collective? It's a group of friends. You guys create stuff together, and you go from there.
I'd say that you can draw similarities in the fact that we're both groups of friends and people that, just love making music with each other. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I think what makes Clickbait specifically different from any other group of artists is the fact that we kind of have so many different influences musically, and it really comes out when it comes to the actual instrumentation of the music that we make. When we're actually composing music, it comes out, not your traditional hip hop, but more, dare I say, I don't really even know how to.
It's more experimental.
Yeah, sure. I guess it would be more experimental. Like the music that I write specifically for, on my project called Feng Shui that I'm planning on releasing in the next few months. It kind of goes back and forth between I guess you could almost say like bedroom pop, but then also R&B at the same time. And I don't really think that there are that many people, making music like that, especially with rap verses on top of it, So
I
it
will
kind of
I will say
spans.
that we are a collective, but we're also like individual artists too, and we're very different in our individuality, which is pretty similar to Doomtree. They're all individual artists that do their own thing, but they also come together. So I guess we're similar in that way, but we're also like we do more than just music. We do a lot of graphics and videos and event planning and DJing as well.
DJing, yep.
So it's music and like everything else too that we do. And we're all producers. Everyone makes music, and yeah, it's just so there's some similarities there, but
we like to keep everything in-house also,
right.
but
All right.
without closing out the collaboration door.
Right. That good for you. I hear so many collectives that get really kind of stuck in their realm and in the original lineup and things like that, which it sounds like you guys have a pretty solid original lineup, but it doesn't sound like you're opposed to bringing in new talent as well.
Well, the cool thing about how we're kind of set up is we're actually really close with a lot of other artists within the scene as well. Like one of our friends happens to be a promoter over in Fargo, and he just also happens to make really great videos, and we collaborate with him all the time. We're always hanging out with him, and a lot of our friends. We have other friends that are DJs, other friends that make music. And we just love being able to throw parties, throw shows, and being able to play with them also, and just collaborate in general.
And I will say, as far as like going back to the music, creating the music process. Since we all are in the same house, we'll have a lot of people outside of Clickbait come to our house just to hang out. And, sometimes they'll hop on some of our songs and give their input. And so it's very, in-house Clickbait, but we also have a lot of energy coming from outside of this house, around the city and around the state and everything.
Yeah. And now you guys had mentioned earlier that some of your music is bedroom pop. That's not a term that I'm familiar with. Can you divulge?
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of a genre that has picked up a little bit more recently. With artists like Claro or Kuko, those types of artists that they have more of a lo-fi style of sound, and I guess you could almost say programmed drums in some cases, and with chorus style guitar, and sometimes the high ends and the low ends are toned down to give it that lo-fi effect. And also synthesizers are heavily used, at least from the type of music that I make. That's kind of what, with my current project, what I've kind of tended to revolve around. But yeah, that's how I would describe it.
All right. I'm going to have to use that now. Bedroom pop.
Yeah, no,
Very
look
cool.
it up. Look up Claro too, by the way, if you get a chance.
Definitely. Yes, thank you for expanding my musical horizons even more. I'm always in the search for new music and new artists. So, thank you very much. And now you do have quite a few videos on YouTube. You do have literally an in-house videographer with you and things like that. Your videos, by the way, are stunning. Not that they're overly produced or anything like that. I mean, they're very kind of homegrown in a way, but they have a certain edge to them. Now, is that from the videographer's standpoint? Do you all get together and discuss what you want the video to represent or show?
So the cool thing about our videos is we don't like to, at least from the ones that we already have out, we haven't really spent too much time in terms of planning them out. So a lot of them have just been made on the spot, or like within a day, and even edited like a few days after that. So that might be why you might see some things that you might not normally see in other videos. So that's the cool thing. And that's not to say though that we won't be making videos that will have like a higher production quality in the future. I mean, right now we're in the talks of doing something on a little higher end, but yeah, we like the do-it-yourself attitude with making music videos.
It's very efficient doing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you guys use? Final Cut, Adobe Edition?
Based on the video editor, I personally use Adobe Premiere.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody uses iMovie.
iMovie for all.
Yeah, for all uses iMovie.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, do you guys film? Do you collectively film together, or is it just kind of like, I'm going to grab my iPhone and go film something today?
It's funny. With the addition of the green screen that we put up in the garage, we've just kind of, it's just been a spontaneous type of thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
literally somebody will just have a camera on them, and then we'll be like, hey, let's shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like that. That's how we made the video for Second Degree that is on our YouTube page. It was just a very, very quick thing. Like, I'm not going to say no thought was put into it, but it was created as we were going.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're listening to the 9 o'clock meltdown here on 91.3 KUWS right here in Superior. All right. And now for Clickbait and for your own music as well, what is coming out? What are you guys really excited about? Do you have any new music that's going to land? Do you have any new videos in the works?
So, like I mentioned earlier, I have a project that I've been working on for the better half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Feng Shui. It's being mastered right now by my friend Haley, who's on tour with Claro, happens to be on tour with Claro.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have been working collectively with to create the Click Tape.
Yeah, the Click Tape. It's our first group project.
Yeah.
We've been working individually on our individual projects for so long, and we feel like it's time to kind of bring all 6 members together on one project. So it's called the Click Tape. We got 2 singles out right now, and I think it might come out either by the end of this year or like
beginning
next
of 2019.
Yeah,
most likely.
Mm-hmm.
We're all really the main thing with that is just trying to make sure all of our creative ideas kind of line up to create somewhat of a cohesive project. Frollo is actually going to be the creative director on that project.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where can people find those singles? Are they up on iTunes, Bandcamp, your website?
So, we haven't started the official push for our music yet, but they'll be up on iTunes and SoundCloud in a little bit. But right now, we have a SoundCloud page. It should just be SoundCloud/ClickbaitMN.
Yep, ClickbaitMN. You can also just go to our website. That's where we post like all of our videos and music, all put together on www.clickbaitmn.com.
Yep,
you can find all of our stuff on there.
Yep, we'll be pushing out our music officially soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, so mum's the word until then, right?
Yes.
I'm just spoiling it for everyone. So, gents, it sounds like you've got a really amazing thing going. Like I said earlier, I was digging some more of kind of your trance music. How do you guys create that? Is that created more in like GarageBand? Is it done with a keyboard?
I think so. Like, it's mostly produced. Most of us produce in Logic. Some of us use Fruity Loops, and we use many different software, Ableton, and I guess that's where our creative sounds come from. The fact that we use so many different things. All, who's one of our really good producers, he has a lot of music out on his SoundCloud and our website. He's really good at creating those like psychedelic sounds, those airy vibes that you hear, the trance.
That's his domain for sure.
Yeah, so he's really good at doing that. He mainly uses Logic, and he's inspired by a lot of creative artists. And he loves to just experiment. He doesn't like doing the normal regular things. He likes to just push the envelope, and a lot of our creative energy comes from that. Just always experimenting and finding new sounds. Like he'll literally go to like a thrift store, find like a old like synthesizer, and like he'll just create sounds on this little synth from the 90s that he found, and just he's a really creative guy.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Yes, very cool. So now you guys had mentioned earlier in the interview that you had started doing house parties and things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have to haul a lot of equipment? Was it just kind of a microphone and maybe some beatboxing in the background? And, obviously from there you guys have grown. You guys have a green screen in your garage. Not a lot of people can say that, so hats off to you.
Thank you.
I actually was enjoying the video that had the green screen. I think one of you was like racing on motorcycle and there was
that's me.
explosions in the background.
Yeah.
Very cool. But how were those early days?
They're pretty organic. I mean, we started with just like 2 studio monitors, and from that, like we just had like we had friends who were DJs who came to our house to throw parties, and they brought all these people to our house, and we would just hook it up to our monitors, and we got them, we blasted them as loud as we could. From there, after just working together, we just put money together, and we bought a DJ controller, started DJing ourselves, and then from there, we bought PAs, and we just kind of collectively been buying equipment. But the first few parties were literally just on 2 studio monitors, and we just blast them as loud as we possibly could.
Yeah.
And
now that our equipment has kind of expanded, also we've been able to, help out with other people as well, and kind of being more of the administrator side of some of the events that we've been throwing, because we have a lot of the equipment, and because our name has kind of been attached, we've been able to help curate some of the shows as well.
All right, excellent. What kind of hardships have you guys kind of come across in maybe the music scene, in, getting your name out there? I mean, it sounds like everything's happened really organically, which is amazing. I know with myself, my photography has kind of happened organically, but it's also been some work on the other side of things. Do you guys have any, problems with kind of the business aspect of musical things, or has it all just kind of been a free flow for you?
I mean,
Difficult
it
question,
is
right?
The fact that there's 6 members. Sometimes it's hard to like have all of us come together and like agree on things, because all of our schedules are so different. So like if one of our friends is having an event that they want us to, perform at, we got to find someone who can move the equipment there, who's going to actually be able to perform. Like, some of our members have to work, and like it's been kind of hard just like coordinating that. We've gotten better at that over years, but there's been times where like we've been late to shows just because like, there weren't enough people from our group to help. Any other?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that one of the things that we've tried to do to remedy that problem is have these group meetings where we're able to just sit down for at least an hour and just kind of talk about our priorities. We try to do that every week, but even that sometimes can be hard to coordinate just because of schedules. But that's probably our main priority as a group.
All right. Sounds like you guys really work together and are working pretty hard to get stuff out there. Where do you guys want to take Clickbait? I mean, what is kind of the end goal here? Is it to put out an album and ride that out? Is it to go out on tour?
I think, I mean, I would love to start touring and just grow our music and our fan base throughout the country, and honestly throughout the world, really. And I think the fact that, we're a group, I knew in the beginning that like, it's hard to do things as an individual, but like when you have a group, it's a little bit easier to grow and like get things done. So yeah, I would love to really grow. And
yeah, and at the end of the day, we view Clickbait as an actual platform instead of just like like an artist group necessarily. It's more like a platform where our individual artists are able to kind of use it as an anchor to springboard off of. So we really want the artists ourselves to be able to have our own fleshed out, content, and to be able to stand up on our own 2 feet without necessarily having the entire group, having the entire being too attached to the group per se.
Okay.
But actually being able to stand on 2 feet.
Right. Everyone's has their own goals and their own things they're trying to accomplish, and I guess I always try to use the metaphor of like clickbait as like a table with like a spotlight on it, and you just put whatever you want on the table so that everyone can see it and look at it. And the next person puts their product on the table. And, we kind of just use it as a platform for us and for our friends to.
Yep.
All right. Excellent, guys. That's awesome to hear. Any thoughts of kind of expanding Clickbait, maybe adding a few members, doing some other collaborations with musicians in town?
Yeah, I definitely want to collaborate with a lot of musicians. And we have been collaborating with musicians. As far as adding new artists, I'm not sure if we really do that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Unless it made 100% sense to all of us, I'm not sure we would really go down that route, just because, like we mentioned earlier, we've all had so much, we have such long-standing relationships with each other, and we all grew up with each other. So that's kind of in its heart what makes clickbait at the end of the day.
We do have a lot of artists who are affiliated, and they've been working with Clickbait for so long that they're part of our network and our friend group. But yeah.
All right. Wonderful. So you're going to release a couple singles out on iTunes and Bandcamp.
Yep.
That's coming later this year. I'll keep it under my hat and keep it kind of hush-hush for now. But
Sure.
if people are interested in your shows or getting hold of you to book something, how can they do that? I know you guys have a website. You are up on Facebook as well.
Yep, and anybody can email us over at clickbaitmn@gmail.com.
Yep. Also follow us on Instagram at clickbaitmn. That's where we post most of our events and our music.
Instagram is definitely our main focus when it comes to social media.
All right. Or, just find you at the hotel bar when you're working.
Yep.
Yes, you can. I'll be right there.
All right. Excellent. So let's divulge into that a little bit if we can. Now, it sounds like you guys all have day jobs. I mean, I know I do, as much as artists don't really want to. It's the name of the game. Does having a day job kind of hinder you guys from being creative, or does it kind of put a little bit more pressure because you don't have that leniency of time?
At least for me, I can speak for myself. I'm actually a software engineer by day.
Okay.
And it's kind of, for me, it's kind of nice to be able to just have a certain amount of the day kind of devoted to my day job and be able to be like, okay, this is the amount of time that I have to do that, and then get home. And as soon as I come home and I'm able to hang out with these guys, there's always something going on. And I know that it's a creative environment in general. So it's great to be able to kind of almost separate those two out in a way.
Yeah. And for being a bartender, it's pretty cool because I can obviously I can network with many new people, as I met you, Crystal. I've met many artists at the bar. I've shared my music there, so it's a great way to network. And I only work part-time there, so it's a good way to make money, and I can still focus on my music as well. And it gives me a lot of creative energy. I actually have a song about my job coming out pretty soon, so it's pretty cool.
Good or bad?
It's a good song.
Okay, good.
It's a fun little song made about being a bartender. So.
All right. When is that going to drop? Do you guys have a date?
I might drop it pretty soon, just because I feel like it's really good, and it's definitely going to be a single. I might put it on my project. I'm not sure, but it sounded really good, so it's going to come out probably within the next month or two.
All right. Well, you'll have to keep me posted because now I'm all ears and I want to hear it.
For sure.
Awesome.
A song about being a bartender. That is, I'm not doing a complete comparison here, guys, but that almost sounds a little country.
I might have a little country vibe. I don't know. We'll see.
Just as long as it doesn't go down the sorrow path, I think we're fine.
Sure. Oh yeah, it's definitely.
I've heard it. It's definitely one of those fun, chill back, lay back songs.
Something nice to drink to.
Ooh, all right. With some scotch or whiskey, something?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Guys, is there anything to add before we close out the show?
I just want to say we're pretty much here in this house, working together as a team, collaborating constantly, and we're constantly striving to become better, just as people and better friends even.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of our stuff is like we kind of mentioned, it's underground right now, but you know, just keep an eye out for us while we actually start our official promotional releases, which should be happening pretty soon.
Yeah, we're pretty young artists, so we're still growing as people and as artists. So it'll be great for you guys to join us on our journey as we grow and progress. So.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for you guys and definitely hit up some of your shows as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for coming on this afternoon and sharing your thoughts and your music with us.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
Of course. Anytime.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
This is another edition of the 9 o'clock Meltdown with Crystal here on 91.3 KUWS, right here in Superior.
y'all go back in?
Why?
We're gonna redo this.